The stars looked different from this far out. Commander Ta Kim stared through the viewport of his ship, the Orang asterisk, as it drifted near the edge of the solar system. Earth had sent exploration vessels this far before, but Ta's mission was special. The Orang asterisk carried better sensors than any previous ship. These sensors had detected something strange near Pluto 3 weeks ago. Now, Tai and his crew of 5 were here to find out what it was. "Commander, I'm picking up that signal again," said Min, the ship's sensor officer. Her eyes were fixed on her screen. "It's stronger now. Whatever it is, it's getting closer." Ta nodded. "Keep tracking it. Are our message broadcasts running?" "Yes, sir. Broadcasting welcome messages in all Earth languages and mathematical sequences as instructed." The Orang asterisk had been designed for first contact. Everyone on Earth knew aliens might exist. They just didn't expect to meet them so soon. "Object is changing course," Min said suddenly. Her voice was higher now. It's heading straight for us." Tay's heart beat faster, but his voice stayed calm. "Battle stations, shields up, but weapons locked." He pressed the ship-wide comm button. "All crew, this is Commander Kim. We may have contact with an unknown vessel. Stay calm and remember your training." The Orang asterisk hummed as its defense systems activated. Through the viewport, Tai saw it, a ship unlike anything made by human hands. It was smooth and oval, with no visible engines. It glowed with a soft blue light. And it was big, at least 3 times the size of the Orang asterisk. "Sir," Min whispered, "they're scanning us." Todd straightened his uniform. "Let them look. We have nothing to hide." The alien ship stopped about a kilometer away. For 5 long minutes, nothing happened. Then Min's console beeped. "They're sending a transmission. I think it's a response to our welcome message." "Put it on screen," Tide ordered. The main screen flickered and then showed a face. It wasn't human. The being had gray-blue skin, large eyes with vertical pupils, and no visible nose. When it spoke, its mouth moved wrong, like the words were being forced out. "Greetings, humans of Earth," it said in perfect English. "I am Ambassador Glix of the Voltar species. I represent the Galactic Council. We have been watching your world for some time." Tay took a deep breath. He was about to become the first human to speak with an alien. "Ambassador Glix, I am Commander Ta Kim of the Korean Space Force, representing the United Earth Government. We welcome you in peace and friendship." The alien's head tilted. "Your response is unexpected. Most species react with more fear upon first contact." "We have imagined this moment for centuries," Tay replied. "We hoped we were not alone among the stars." "You are far from alone, Commander. The Galactic Council includes over 3,000 species from across this sector of the galaxy. Your world has been under observation since your first radio transmissions. Your rapid technological advancement has been notable." Tai heard the hesitation. "Is that a concern for your council?" Glix's face did something that might have been a smile. "Perceptive. Yes, some council members find your species' progress alarming. Humans have moved from primitive flight to space exploration in a single century. Such rapid advancement is uncommon." "We are curious by nature," Ta said. "Curious. And warlike," Glix added. "Your history is filled with conflict." Ta nodded. "We do not hide our past, but we learn from it. The United Earth Government was formed to end national wars. We have had global peace for 30 years. "A promising start," Glix said. "With your permission, Commander, I would like to come aboard your vessel to continue our discussion. This would be the first official diplomatic meeting between our civilizations." Ta hadn't expected this. He looked at his crew. They all nodded. "We would be honored, Ambassador." An hour later, Ambassador Glix sat in the Orang's asterisk conference room. Up close, the alien was even stranger. Glix wore something like a silver jumpsuit that seemed to move with their body. They were taller than Ta by at least 20 centimeters, with long, thin arms. "Your ship is primitive by Council standards," Glix said, "but impressive for a species so young." "We have much to learn," Tay replied. "But we are quick students." Glix made a sound like quiet bells, perhaps laughter. "That is what concerns the Council. Some species advance technologically before they mature emotionally. The results can be catastrophic." Tad leaned forward. "What exactly does your Council want with Earth, Ambassador?" "To observe for now. Eventually to welcome you into the galactic community, if you prove ready." Glix's large eyes blinked slowly. "The Council has protocols for contact with emerging civilizations. Your detection of our observation post has accelerated the timetable, but the process remains the same." "And what is this process?" "A period of limited exchange. Cultural and scientific information will be shared. Your leaders will be invited to meet with Council representatives. We will help you understand your place in the larger community of worlds." Something in those words bothered Ta. "Our place. All species have their role, Commander. The Council maintains peace through order. Each member knows their responsibilities and limitations." Tai chose his next words carefully. "Humans value their independence, Ambassador. We would join a community as equals, not as subjects." Glix's skin color darkened slightly. "Of course. I meant no offense. But you must understand. Some species in the Council are millions of years old. Their civilizations span hundreds of worlds. Earth is a single planet with a brief history. Age isn't everything," Ta said. "New perspectives can be valuable." "Indeed." Glix stood suddenly. "I must report to the Council. This first contact has been promising. With your permission, I will arrange for a Council delegation to meet with your world leaders within one of your months." Ta stood as well. "I'm sure they will look forward to it." The meeting with Earth's leaders went smoothly. The Galactic Council representatives, 7 different alien species including Glix, spoke of peace, cooperation, and cultural exchange. They offered limited technological assistance and invited Earth to send observers to Council space. But at the actual Council chambers, far from Earth, the discussion was very different. "These humans are dangerous," insisted Delegate Xan of the Dreth Empire. His thick, armored skin gleamed under the chamber lights. "I have reviewed their history. They wage war constantly. They develop weapons before medicines. They spread across their world like a disease." The Council chamber was massive, with hundreds of delegates from different species seated in ascending rings. The innermost circle held the 12 most powerful Council members. "All young species have conflict," countered Delegate Len of the Norva. She was small and gray, with 4 arms and large, wise eyes. "The humans have shown remarkable progress toward unity. Their unity makes them more dangerous, not less," Xan growled. "Divided, they were containable. United with their aggressive instincts, they could threaten regional stability within a century." The Council leader, a tall being of energy and light called Myth, spoke. "What do our observers report about their technological capabilities?" A holographic display appeared in the center of the chamber, showing human cities, factories, and ships. "They advance approximately 3 times faster than the Council average," said the data analyst. "Their adaptability index is among the highest we have recorded. They solve problems creatively." "See," Xan pointed at the display. "Containment protocols must be implemented immediately. Restrict their expansion beyond their solar system. Limit technology transfer. Install monitoring systems throughout their colonies." Len rose from her seat. "I must object. I have studied humans extensively. They show extraordinary resilience and adaptability. They thrive on challenges. They unite against external pressure." "What are you suggesting?" Xan demanded. "That direct containment will backfire," Len said firmly. "These humans have survived countless near-extinction events, ice ages, plagues, their own nuclear weapons. Each time, they emerged stronger. She looked around the chamber. If we treat them as a threat, they will become one. If we try to cage them, they will break free. And remember who built the cage. Zahn laughed, a harsh sound. What could they do against the Council? Our technology is centuries beyond theirs. Our fleets control this entire arm of the galaxy. That is exactly the kind of arrogance they would exploit, Len warned. I have one simple message for this Council. Don't provoke humans. Guidance, yes. Partnership, yes. But provocation would be most unwise. The Council voted. Containment protocols were approved 189 to 23. Len shook her head as she recorded her dissent. You were warned, she said quietly. And you didn't listen. 5 years had passed since first contact. Earth had changed. Alien technology, even the small amount the Council shared, had helped humans solve many problems. New medicines cured old diseases. Better farming methods ended hunger in many places. Clean energy-powered cities that once choked on smoke. But Dr. Ju Park felt something was wrong. Ju worked in the Joint Research Station, a large ring-shaped space station orbiting Earth. Humans and aliens worked together here, sharing knowledge. At least, that was what they said. Ju was the lead human physicist on the propulsion research team. She was small, with short black hair and eyes that missed nothing. Tonight, she was working late. Again. Computer, run simulation 47B again, she said. Use the adjusted variables. The holographic display in front of her showed a new type of engine. It combined human and alien designs. If it worked, ships could travel 10 times faster than current Earth vessels. The simulation ran. Failed. Again. Ju frowned. This should work. The math is correct. She had been trying to improve this design for months. Each time, the simulations failed for no clear reason. It was like hitting an invisible wall. The lab door slid open. Trell, her alien colleague, entered. Trell was a Mithran, tall and thin with skin that changed color with his mood. Right now, he was pale blue, nervous. Ju, it's very late. You should rest, he said. Soon. I need to understand why this keeps failing. Trell looked at her screens. His skin darkened. Perhaps some technology just takes time. Or perhaps something is making it fail, Ju said. She turned to face him. Trell, we've worked together for 3 years. I consider you a friend. And you, he said quickly. Then tell me the truth. Last week, I saved my research to the main database. Today, key parts were missing. This has happened before. Trell's skin turned almost purple. I don't know what you mean. Yes, you do. Ju pointed to her screen. And you know why my simulations keep failing despite correct equations. Trell seemed to shrink. He looked at the door, then back at Ju. You don't understand. There are protocols. What protocols? Trell sighed, a whistling sound through his breathing slits. The Council has guidelines for technology sharing with emerging species. Guidelines that make our research fail, Ju asked. Trell's voice dropped to a whisper. Containment directives. Each species must advance at an acceptable pace. Some Council members believe humans are advancing too quickly. Ju felt cold. You're sabotaging our work. Not sabotage. Protection. For your species and others. Trell stepped closer. Some Council members fear what humans might do with certain technologies. Your history has much conflict. That's our past. We've changed. Have you? Trell gestured to a screen showing news from Earth. It showed a protest at a government building. Your people still fight each other. And now there are protests about Council interference in human affairs. Ju crossed her arms. People have a right to question. That's how we improve. The Council sees it as instability. Trell's skin was deep blue now. Sad. Ju, I am telling you this because I respect you. But you must understand the reality. The Council controls thousands of worlds. Earth is just one small planet, a planet that should control its own destiny, Ju said firmly. Are there other containment directives I should know about? Trell didn't answer. He didn't need to. His skin color said everything. Admiral Ta Kim stood on the bridge of the Sejong *, Earth's newest and largest warship. 5 years ago, he had been Commander Kim on a small explorer vessel. His meeting with Ambassador Glix had changed his life and humanity's future. The Sejong * was powerful by human standards, but Ta knew it was nothing compared to council ships. He had seen their massive vessels during diplomatic visits. Still, humans were building their fleet quickly. "Admiral, approaching the Mars defense perimeter," said his first officer. "Good. Begin inspection route," Tide ordered. The Sejong * moved into orbit around the red planet. Below, the Mars colony spread across Acidalia Planitia. 30,000 humans lived there now. A smaller research base sat on Phobos, one of Mars' moons. "Sir, we're receiving a message from Gateway Station," the communications officer said. "A Council diplomatic vessel is requesting permission to enter Earth space." Ta nodded. "Standard procedure. Escort formation." As the Sejong * turned to meet the alien ship, Ta walked to the viewport. Mars glowed red below. He felt proud of what humanity had accomplished in just 5 years, but he also felt worried. Last month, a human mining ship exploring the asteroid belt had been turned back by a Council patrol. The Council said the area was temporarily restricted for safety reasons. The month before, a research mission to Jupiter's moons was denied permission to proceed. Humanity was being boxed in. Ta had tried to warn Earth's government. Some listened. Others thought he was being paranoid. The alien ship appeared, escorted by 2 Earth vessels. It was sleek and beautiful, like all Council ships. Ta had learned these diplomatic vessels also carried powerful weapons, though they were hidden. His comm officer called. "Admiral, we're receiving a direct message from the Council ship. It's for you personally." Tai raised an eyebrow. "Put it through to my ready room." In his private office, Tai activated the screen. A familiar face appeared. Ambassador Glix. "Admiral Kim," Glix said with a small bow. "It has been some time." "Ambassador, I didn't know you were returning to Earth." "A brief visit. The Council has concerns." Ta kept his face neutral. "What concerns?" "Your military expansion, for one. Earth has tripled its fleet in 3 years. Mars now has defense platforms. Your moon has weapon installations. Standard protection for our colonies," Ta said calmly. "Earth has the right to defend its people." "Of course, but such rapid militarization raises questions about human intentions." Ta leaned forward. "I could ask the same about Council intentions. Your ships block human exploration beyond the asteroid belt. Your safety restrictions keep changing. Council observers watch everything we do." Glix's face hardened. "The Council ensures peace through proper development of all species. Humanity must understand its place in the galactic community." There was that phrase again, "its place." Ta had heard it 5 years ago. He liked it even less now. "And what place is that, Ambassador?" "A junior member. Learning. Growing. At an appropriate pace." Ta stood. "Humans don't accept artificial limits, Ambassador. We never have." "That," said Glix, "is precisely the problem." On the Council homeworld, another emergency session was underway. Delegate Len of the Norva species stood before the Council, her small gray form dwarfed by the massive chamber. "The containment protocols are failing," she said. "Humans are becoming aware of our restrictions. Their scientists are clever. They see the patterns in our interference." Delegate Son of the Dreth Empire growled. "Then we must strengthen the protocols. Add more observers. Increase technology suppression." "That will only make things worse," Len argued. "Already, human military leaders like Admiral Kim suspect our true intentions. Their media discusses Council overreach. Their people grow restless." "Let them," Xan said. "What can they do? Their technology is still centuries behind ours. The council leader, Myth, raised a glowing hand for silence. What do you propose, Delegate Len? Honesty. End the containment. Treat humans as true partners. Their adaptability and creativity could benefit the council, not threaten it. San laughed. Partners. They are barely out of their stone age. I have studied these humans extensively, Len said, her voice rising. They do not respond to intimidation. They unite against it. They see patterns in chaos. They innovate when pressured. Don't provoke them further. Your concern is noted, said Myth, but the council has decided. The containment protocols will continue with increased measures to prevent human detection. Len looked around at the hundreds of delegates. Most avoided her gaze. You didn't listen 5 years ago, she said quietly. You still don't listen. I warn you one last time. Humans are not like other species. They see walls as challenges. They see rules as suggestions. And they never, ever accept a cage, no matter how comfortable you make it. Zahn stood, his massive form towering over Len. They are primitive and divided. Our technology is centuries beyond theirs. What threat could they possibly pose? Len looked up at him with sad eyes. You'll find out. The mining station on Europa gleamed like a silver bug on the icy moon's surface. 217 humans worked there, extracting rare minerals from beneath the ice. Europa, one of Jupiter's moons, was the farthest human outpost from Earth. Inside the main control room, Station Chief Jun Kang checked the daily reports. Mining had been good this month. The council had finally approved this operation after 3 years of safety reviews. Jun suspected they had only agreed because the minerals weren't very useful for advanced technology. Chief, we have a problem, said his assistant. Sensors show 3 ships approaching from Sector 4. Jun frowned. Council ships. Yes, but they're not responding to our greeting. Jun tapped his console. Pull up the visuals. The screen showed 3 sleek vessels moving toward Europa. They were not the usual diplomatic ships. These were angular, with visible weapon ports. Send another greeting, Jun ordered. Tell them we are a peaceful mining operation with full council approval. His assistant tried again. No response. Chief, Jun felt a chill that had nothing to do with Europa's icy surface. Alert Earth Command. Send all our approval documents again to the approaching ships, and prepare the emergency evacuation pods. The assistant looked scared, but nodded. Jun pressed the station-wide comm button. Attention all personnel. This is not a drill. Possible security situation developing. Move to emergency stations. Prepare for possible evacuation. The first blast hit before he finished speaking. The control room shook. Alarms blared. Jun was thrown against a wall. They're firing on us, someone shouted. Jun pushed himself up. Evacuation. Everyone out now. The second blast tore through the station's main power core. The explosions that followed destroyed most of the escape pods before they could launch. From his ship in orbit, the council commander watched the human station break apart. His orders had been clear. The humans had violated territorial agreements by installing military sensors disguised as mining equipment. The station was to be neutralized. He hadn't expected it to be quite so easy. The news reached Earth during a diplomatic summit at the United Earth Government headquarters in Seoul. President Han Sun was meeting with council representatives when Admiral Ta Kim burst into the room. Mr. President, Ta said, his face pale, Europa mining station has been destroyed. 212 dead. 5 survivors in critical condition. The room fell silent. President Han stared at Ta, then at the council representatives. Explain, he said quietly to Ambassador Glix. Glix's skin had turned a dull gray. I have no information about this, President Han. There must be some mistake. No mistake, Ta said. He activated a wall screen showing images from a rescue ship. The Europa station was in pieces. Bodies floated in space. Council warships attacked without warning. We have the sensor logs. President Han was a calm man. He had led Earth through 5 years of rapid change. He was known for his patience, but now his hands trembled with anger. "Ambassador Glix," he said, "I want an explanation now." Glix consulted a small device. After a moment, his face changed. It appears there was an enforcement action. The station was in violation of. It was a mining station. Ta shouted. "Approved by your own council. Our investigation suggests it housed illegal scanning technology," Glix said stiffly. The response was, perhaps stronger than intended. President Han stood slowly. 212 people are dead, Ambassador. Miners, engineers, doctors, people with families. Regrettable, Glix said. The Council will of course provide compensation for this unfortunate. Ta stepped forward. Security guards moved to block him, but President Han waved them back. "Admiral Kim speaks for all of Earth right now," the president said. "This was not unfortunate. It was an attack, an act of war." Glix's skin darkened. "The Council does not want war, President Han. We want order. Your species continues to push boundaries, continues to advance beyond acceptable parameters." "Acceptable to whom?" President Han asked. "To those who maintain peace in this galaxy," Glix replied. "Humans must learn their place in the order of things." The room was silent again. President Han looked at the other human officials present, then back at Glix. "In the 5 years since first contact," Han said, "Earth has discovered many things about the Council. We've learned about your technology, your species, your history. But there's one thing we've never been told clearly." "What is that?" Glix asked. "What you really think of us." Han pressed a button on the table. "Dr. Park, are you ready?" A new screen activated. Dr. Ju Park appeared, looking tired but determined. "Yes, Mr. President. The data is prepared." Han nodded. "Show us." Ju tapped something off-screen. The wall displays filled with images, documents, and recordings, all from Council sources. They showed classified reports about human containment, secret directives to limit technology transfer, surveillance logs from hidden devices in human cities, orders to sabotage human research. "For 3 years," Ju said, "I've collected evidence of Council manipulation. My alien colleague Trell helped me access these files. He believed what was happening was wrong." Ambassador Glix stood, his skin now deep red. "This is stolen information. This human has committed crimes against the Council." "No," President Han said firmly. "Dr. Park has exposed the truth. You never saw us as partners. We were just another species to control." Han turned to face the cameras that were broadcasting this meeting worldwide. "Citizens of Earth, you now see the truth. The Council has lied to us, restricted us, and now they have killed our people." He turned back to Glix. "Ambassador, you and all Council representatives are hereby ordered to leave Earth space within 24 hours. Glix's eyes narrowed. "This is a mistake, President Han. The Council has been patient with humans. That patience has limits. So does ours," Han replied. 3 days later, the Council homeworld was in turmoil. Emergency sessions ran without break as delegates argued about the human problem. Delegate Son pounded his fist on the speaking platform. "I warned you all. These humans are dangerous. Now they threaten the Council itself. This cannot stand." Delegate Len waited for her turn to speak. When it came, the chamber had grown loud with angry voices. She had to wait for silence. "Colleagues," she began, "what happened at Europa was a tragedy. A tragedy we caused." Shouts of protest filled the chamber. "The station violated regulations," someone yelled. "They had military scanners," shouted another. Len raised all 4 of her hands. "Even if true, did that justify killing over 200 beings? Is that the justice the Council claims to uphold?" The Council leader, Myth, spoke. "What would you have us do, Delegate Len?" The humans now possess classified council information. They have expelled our representatives. They make demands. They demand the truth, Len said. Something we should have given them from the start. Son growled. Enough debate. The containment protocols have failed. We must move to the next phase. Which is? Len asked, though she feared she knew the answer. Military intervention, Son said. A blockade of their world until they surrender their stolen information and accept council authority. Their ships are no match for ours. The council chamber erupted in discussion. Some delegates looked horrified. Others nodded in agreement. After an hour of debate, a vote was called. The decision: deploy a military blockade of Earth until humans learned their place in the galactic order. As the council session ended, Len approached Son. You're making a terrible mistake, she said quietly. Am I? Son looked down at her. Their technology is primitive. Their fleet is tiny. What can they possibly do against us? That's what everyone says before they underestimate humans, Len replied. I've studied their history. When threatened, they don't surrender. They improvise. They unite. They fight with everything they have. Zon laughed. Let them fight. It will be brief. Len shook her head sadly. You still don't understand. You never asked why my species, the Norva, advocated for humans. It's because we were once like them, curious, adaptive, seen as dangerous. The difference is when the council contained us, we accepted it. Humans won't. They have no choice, Zon said dismissively. As the council fleet prepared to depart for Earth, Len sent one final message to her contacts there. You were right about the council. They are coming in force. They expect you to surrender. Show them why that was their final mistake. Admiral Ta Kim stood on the bridge of the Sejong*, looking at the tactical display. A red line of council ships surrounded Earth. 50 massive warships, each one far larger than any human vessel. The blockade had been in place for 3 days. Admiral, we're receiving the daily surrender demand, said his communications officer. Ta sighed. Same message as yesterday. Yes, sir. Surrender all council data. Accept council authority. Submit to containment protocols. And if we refuse, they say they will enforce compliance through escalating measures. Ta nodded. Send our daily response. The officer smiled slightly. Yes, sir. We respectfully decline. Earth's small fleet of 30 warships remained in defensive formation. They were outnumbered and outgunned. The council ships had technology that was centuries ahead of human weapons. Everyone knew this. Yet no one on Earth had suggested surrender. Ta's personal communicator beeped. Admiral, the President is calling an emergency meeting. Your presence is requested at Command Center Alpha. 20 minutes later, Ta entered the underground command center. President Han was there, along with Dr. Ju Park and other key leaders. Admiral, the President said, Dr. Park has something to show us. Ju stepped forward. She looked tired but excited. For the past 3 days, we've been running final tests. I believe we're ready. She activated a screen showing a strange-looking device attached to a standard ship engine. What am I looking at, Doctor? Ta asked. The future, Ju said simply. Admiral, do you remember when I told you the Council was sabotaging our research? Of course. What I didn't tell you was that Trell didn't just help me discover the sabotage. He helped me understand why certain technologies were being blocked. Ju pointed to the device. The Council feared human creativity. They saw how we combine technologies in ways they never considered. President Han spoke up. Dr. Park has developed modifications for our ships. Modifications the Council won't expect because they don't think like us. Will they work? Ta asked. Ju met his eyes. They already have. In simulations, our modified ships can perform maneuvers the Council believes are impossible. Their targeting systems won't be able to track our movement patterns. How soon can we implement these modifications? We already have, President Han said. For the past 3 months, as tensions grew, we've been quietly upgrading our fleet. 2/3 of our ships now have Dr. Park's modifications. Todd felt a surge of hope. Even with these advantages, we're still outnumbered. Yes, Han agreed. But we don't need to defeat their entire fleet. We just need to show them we're not easy prey. Tai understood. Break the blockade. Force them to negotiate. Exactly, Han said. Admiral Kim, you will lead this operation. The fate of Earth is in your hands. In orbit above Earth, the Council commander surveyed his blockade with satisfaction. The human ships remained in defensive formation, making no move against his superior force. Soon, the primitive species would accept reality and surrender. His second-in-command approached. Commander, the humans have sent their daily refusal. As expected, increase pressure, cut off their satellite communications, let them feel their isolation. Yes, Commander. Any update from the Council? Yes, sir. They are preparing containment facilities for the human leadership. Once we secure Earth, the most troublesome humans will be relocated for re-education. The commander nodded. These humans needed to learn their place. The galaxy had an order. Species that disrupted that order needed correction. His thoughts were interrupted by an alarm. Commander, human ships are moving. The tactical display showed 20 human vessels breaking formation. They were moving fast, too fast for their known capabilities. A futile gesture, the commander said. Deploy Intercept Group 1. 10 Council ships moved to block the human advance. The commander watched confidently as they moved into position. Then something impossible happened. The human ships suddenly changed direction at speeds that should have torn them apart. They moved in patterns that made no sense. Random, unpredictable turns and accelerations. Sir, our targeting systems can't lock on, his weapons officer shouted. The commander stared in disbelief as the human ship slipped through his first defense line without taking a single hit. Deploy Group 2. All ships, open fire. More Council ships moved to intercept, firing energy weapons at the approaching humans. But the humans were moving in ways that defied the Council's combat algorithms. For every shot fired, the human ships seemed to know where it would go before it was launched. How are they doing this? The commander demanded. No one had an answer. The human ships reached the main blockade line. Instead of trying to break through, they began attacking the Council vessels directly. The Council ships were larger and more powerful, but the human vessels moved like water around rocks, striking weak points, then darting away before the Council ships could respond. On the Sejong*, Admiral Ta Kim called out orders calmly. Target their sensor arrays. Groups 3 and 4, execute pattern Omega. Keep moving. Don't let them predict your path. Dr. Ju Park stood beside him, monitoring the performance of her modifications. The drives are holding, Admiral. Council ships are still trying to target based on standard physics models, which no longer apply to us, Ta said with a small smile. Exactly, Ju replied. They expect us to move like their ships, but we don't think like them. So why should we fly like them? On the Council command ship, panic was setting in. 3 of their vessels had been disabled. The humans were targeting weak points no outsider should have known about. The commander had never seen anything like it. Sir, his second said urgently, we must call for reinforcements. The commander hesitated. Calling for help would be admitting failure. But he had no choice. Send the distress call. Tell them. His words were cut off as his ship rocked violently. The humans had somehow penetrated his vessel's shields and hit the main power core. All systems failing. Weapons offline. The commander stared at the tactical display in shock. Half his blockade was already disabled or retreating. The battle had lasted less than 6 hours. His communication officer looked up with fear in his eyes. Sir, we're receiving a message from the human flagship. Put it through, the commander said quietly. Admiral Ta Kim's face appeared on screen. Council Commander, your blockade has failed. Your ships are damaged or retreating. You have two options: surrender or be destroyed. The commander looked around his damaged bridge. On what terms? Unconditional, Tay replied. The Council will acknowledge Earth's independence and end all containment protocols. The commander knew he had no choice. I accept your terms. News of the human victory spread throughout the galaxy faster than any Council censorship could contain it. On thousands of worlds, beings watched recordings of the battle, of tiny human ships outmaneuvering the mighty Council fleet. On the Council homeworld, emergency sessions dissolved into chaos. Delegate Son and others who had advocated for the blockade were removed from their positions. How did this happen? The Council leader asked in a private chamber. Delegate Len, who had been appointed emergency negotiator with the humans, sighed. I told you. Humans don't think like other species. When faced with superior technology, they didn't try to match it. They found ways to make it irrelevant. What do they want now? Revenge. No, Len said. That's another thing you never understood about them. They're not interested in domination. 2 weeks later, President Hanson addressed the Reformed Council. The chamber was quiet as he spoke. The people of Earth do not seek revenge, he said. We seek partnership. We have seen the wonders of this galaxy, and we want to add to them, not control them. But we will never accept being caged or limited. His proposal was simple: a reformed galactic alliance with guarantees of sovereignty for all member species. Technology would be shared openly. No more containment protocols. No more acceptable parameters for growth. We are all stronger together, Han concluded, but only if we stand as equals. The new alliance was approved. Dr. Jupark headed a new interspecies technology exchange program. Admiral Ta Kim's fleet became the foundation of a new peacekeeping force that protected developing species from exploitation. And throughout the galaxy, a new saying emerged among alien species: if you must fight, never fight humans. If you must fight with someone, make sure it's humans. Delegate Len, now a senior advisor in the new alliance, would only smile when she heard this. I told you so, she would say. I begged the Council not to provoke humans. They didn't listen. But now, perhaps, they finally understand.